today those conditions like cardiovascular disease, high blood pressure and its consequential heart attacks and strokes, diabetes, autoimmune diseases like lupus and rheumatoid arthritis and ankylosing spondylitis and psoriasis and eczema and all these related inflammatory conditions all have their roots in poor diet and lifestyle choices. And as a consequence, those conditions tend to respond very well to fasting, because fasting gives the body a chance to mobilize and eliminate these accumulated metabolic products, these toxic, these imbalances that get created as a consequence of dietary excess. And it happens very rapidly.
Right.
So when it's appropriately used and it's properly monitored, fasting is a safe and effective way of giving the body a chance to do what it does best, and that's heal itself. So there are chemicals that we add to food that make us fat and sick. And for example, if you add those same chemicals to the diet of a rat, the rat will increase its weight 49% in 60 days. If you give those chemicals to the food of birds, they'll get so fat they can't fly. And when you give those chemicals to people, you see just what you see around you. 2/3 of adults are now overweight. Okay, we have an epidemic of obesity and concomitant diseases like diabetes that are increasing geometrically. And the chemicals that we've added to food are oil, flour, and sugar. Mm-hmm. These are substances that don't exist in that form in a natural setting. We concentrate and we add them to the food, and people consistently overeat. It's an addiction. We call it the pleasure trap. That's why the name of our book is called The Pleasure Trap, because it is the hidden force that undermines health and happiness. It's why people are overweight. It's why they're developing the diseases of dietary excess. And if you eliminate oil, flour, sugar, and dairy products from the diet, you eliminate much of the dietary excess. People begin to lose weight. They begin to recover their health. The advantage of fasting is when you have a person that's addicted to a high-fat, high-salt, dead, decaying flesh diet, that's what they crave, that's what they want. And to make that neuroadaptation to a part where good food tastes good can take time. It takes 30 days on average for people to adjust to a low-salt diet. It takes almost 90 days for them to adjust to a low-fat diet. So for 3 months, people's brains are going, we're not getting enough to eat, we're going to die, go get me some peanut brittle. Whereas with fasting, that neuroadaptation, that change where the body adjusts to healthy eating and living happens more quickly. Okay. So when a person's done with a proper fast, oftentimes good food starts to taste good.
Right.
And so that's a fairly revolutionary change, and it allows people to dramatically increase the likelihood of compliance. And if it's easy enough to tell people, well, just eat good and live right and everything will be fine, getting people to do that is difficult. It's just like taking an alcoholic and saying, well, look, your life sucks because you're a drunk. You need to stop drinking. They don't go, oh, it's the alcohol? I had no idea. Thank you so much. I won't drink anymore. Yeah. And then stop drinking. That's not what happens. It was one of our famous American philosophers that said that denial is not just a river in Egypt. It was Mark Twain. and it's really true. People are in complete denial, and including vegans.
Yeah.
The fact is, I give a talk at a lot of vegetarian conventions that's called "Avoiding the Dangers of a Vegan Diet."
Okay.
And the fact is, many people are vegan. They don't eat animal food, and they do it for spiritual reasons or whatever their motivations are. But their diet is terrible. Yeah. Because they're caught in the pleasure trap. It's oil, flour, sugar to the max. Just being a vegan is not going to make you healthy. A vegan diet may, help you get into heaven, but it's not going to delay how quickly you get there. Because if you're on a highly processed diet of oil, flour, and sugar, frankly, in many cases you'd be better off eating meat. So what we're trying to teach our vegan patients is, yeah, you want to avoid the animal foods for all the biological concentration and toxicity issues, not to mention the ethical, spiritual, and moral issues. But you have to do more than that. Being a vegan is not the end, it's the beginning. And you have to get out of the dietary pleasure trap. You have to eliminate oil, flour, and sugar, as well as obviously dairy products from your diet, if you're going to achieve a level of health that's consistent with functioning at your potential.